else, you should all be here. Everyone has completed tutorials 1, which is about the site, tutorial 2, which got up your basic walls and doors, and then tutorial 3, in which you added in the stairs, the windows, and the roof, and the balcony, and the railings. So everyone should have this. It's kind of a rough model, but it'll work for us for this project. I noticed a few things that are left in here. First of all, I noticed that this wall never got attached to the roof. So I'm going to select this wall, attach top base, attach top to the roof. You'll notice that there's a little sliver going past it. So I'm going to edit my footprint, make sure that my wall is aligned, my roof is aligned to the outside of my wall, and then hit check, and that should fix that up. Okay, other thing I noticed is that I'm missing a window on this floor. An easy way to select something and copy it to the floor below is to select it. You can do a Control-C. Then you go to Modify, go to Paste, Align to Picked, or Align to Selected Level, and you can select level 1, hit OK, and it'll automatically put the same family or same object or same element on the level below or whatever level you picked. Okay, so we're not doing too badly. What I would like to do in this entry now is to show you how you change phases, how you work with phases. Right now, everything we've modeled, our Revit model thinks is existing. So for example, it thinks is new. So for example, if I select this wall and I go to my properties panel and scroll down, you'll see this thing called phasing. It says phase created new construction. If I click here, there is an existing phase, but right now there's nothing on it. So we need to change this so that everything we've made so far, the topography, the windows, just everything is part of the existing phase, and then we'll have a new phase called renovation. So one way to do that is to literally select each individual thing and move it over to existing. But it gets tricky because there's some things that are detail items or some things that are embedded in other things that are not happy changing their phase. So we're going to do this a little bit differently. You're going to go over to Manage. So I don't think we've used the Manage tab yet. So you're going to use your Manage tab, go over to Phases, and then here you're going to make a new phase. So I'm going to hit Insert Phase After, and I'm going to call this Renovation. And then my new construction phase, I'm going to select it, and I'm going to hit this button that says Combine with Previous. And what that'll do is I now have 2 phases existing in renovation. I'm going to hit OK. So now when I select something, it should tell me that this is on the existing phase, which is great. That's what I was looking for. So if I have, each view you have will show you things depending on what phase they're in. So for example, if I go down here and I change the phase of this to renovation, you'll notice everything just went gray. By default, the existing things you make are grayed out, are shown differently so that you can see the new things pop out more. Right now it has show phase filter show all. I usually have this on show previous and new. So that way I would be able to see the previous stuff, and anything new I saw would be a bright color. So just to show you, if I were to go here and I were to make a new window here, you'll notice that the new window is not coming out gray. The new window is a bright color. Okay. So this tutorial is a little bit different in that I am not expecting everyone to make the same changes that I am making. I want you to think about what your design will be and then change things accordingly. So change things the way that you would like them to be. So I have not pre-thought about this, about what changes I'm making. So I'm going to go to level 1 and just take a look at it. I'm going to come over here, go down to my phase filter, change it to my phase to renovation, change my phase filter to show previous and new, hit apply. Okay. So I think the one thing that I like the least about this house is the spiral stair. I think it's really annoying to have to use that in order to get anywhere in my building. What's a little bit tricky is that anywhere I put a staircase, I have to think about what floor I can get to through that staircase, right? So if I look at a section, so I'm going to make a section cut here. So I go to view, section, cut it right through the middle. Right click, go to view. You can see that the spiral is very efficient in that it can live in this tiny little area and it can get people all the way up to the top floor. Anywhere else I do that in the building, you're not going to have that same level of efficiency. I can have a stair that goes, for example, from this floor to this floor, and then I have a second that goes from that floor to that floor. So maybe that's one thing I could do. I could have the stair in the front living room. So that's how a lot of houses are set up, right? That you have the stair coming up. Although that decreases the amount of space you have in your living area then. And also the living area is nice because it's kind of right off the road. There's advantages to that. So I think I am going to go ahead and try to have a stair maybe in this front room. I think that's going to be the easiest thing to do. Recognizing that I'm going to lose some things with that model. Okay, so I'm going to go to level 1. I'm going to start out by demolishing this stair. So demolishing is pretty fun. If you go to modify, there's this little hammer you can click on for demolish, and you just click it, and it demolishes the stair. I also want to demolish the railing, demolish that center post, and I'm going to delete these two things. I think this floor pattern is really distracting, so I'm going to change my view settings so that I don't see them. So I'm going to type in VV. Scroll down to where it says floors, and where it has projection surface, I'm looking for patterns. So projection surface patterns, I'm going to override this and turn off that and hit OK. Hit apply. Let's see if that got it. Yep, that got it, and then I hit OK. That just is going to let me see a little bit better here. I also still have these detail lines on here from the original footprint. I'm going to delete those just so I can see better. Okay, so it looks like my stair is gone. If you want to know that it still lives on the existing face, so for example, if I go over here and change my view face filter to show previous and demo, you'll notice that this is showing up in dotted lines, showing that it's going to be demolished. Or if I do show demo and new, I have nothing new yet, right? I just have demolished, so I know that's on the demolished face. So it's not that it's deleted completely, it's just on a different face. Okay, so I'm going back to show previous and new. Okay, so now I have to figure out where my stair is going to come in. I'm going to have the stair maybe starting here, going this way. There is a fireplace here though that I didn't really want to mess up. So maybe it does need to be back in this space. Okay, so I'll have my stair coming this way maybe. See, it's always like tricky. There's a reason that people do things oddly, right? There's a reason that that stair lives there. I don't want to block off that whole side of the building with the stair and lose my fireplace. But here it would be very difficult to have, I think if I do one stair here, that kind of lands here. So starts here, lands here, and then maybe a second stair that is in this room and it goes up to the upper floor. Or maybe I'll just have, maybe this upper floor is okay with the spiral and I'll just have one stair that at least gets you 2 floors without having a spiral stair. So I'm going to go back to level 1. And the bathroom, I'm going to demolish and rebuild over here. I'm also assuming I can make a nicer bathroom. I can make this entry a little bit nicer. So I'm going to have the bathroom live by the kitchen instead. So again, I'm going to go over here, go to modify, grab my little demo hammer, and I'm going to demolish those walls. I'm going to demolish the toilet, demolish the sink. Okay, I'm going to build a new bathroom over here. So I'm going to go to architecture, wall, and here I'm going to use my interior wall. And I'm going to do finish face, exterior. Okay, so I'm going to come straight off this opening, and let's say my bathroom is going to be 8 foot this way and almost 6 foot that way, a little bit shy of that. So here I have a bathroom tucked in over here. You'll notice the new walls show up bold and dark because they're new. I'm going to put in a new door here. I'm going to make it a 36-inch door. And perhaps I'll have that right here. Excuse me. Okay. I might switch this around in a minute. We'll see how that goes. So for now, we're going to pretend that's the bathroom. This might get rejiggered in a second. Okay. So now I want to add in my steps going up to the floor above. So I know that I'm going to want my stairs to kind of start here. And I said I wanted it to end here because I don't want to really disrupt these as much as possible. Oh, I forgot to put this down 14 inches. So this should be these two walls. And maybe, maybe I should wait on this bathroom. This bathroom's probably going to change, just a heads up, but let's keep it for now. I'm going to change the base offset to negative 14 inches. And then the sill on this should also be negative 14 inches. Okay. So if I look back to my section view, there is my new thing. I'm also going to change over here. I'm going to make this is renovation phase, show previous new. Okay, so it's a little harder to see here, but those are in fact darker lines than the existing walls. My worry, I put the bathroom here so it'd be close to the kitchen. My worry about doing that is that if I need the stair to end here, I don't know if I really have enough room for it. I definitely don't have enough room for it before this comes in. So I think this bathroom is going to have to move in general. So sorry about this. I'm going to delete it. I know, super annoying. Okay, deleting it. Let's do the stair first. You need to have at least 5 feet around the stair, and I think I'm going to do kind of like a winder where it has a couple steps this way. Ideally, we have 2 steps this way and then come this way. Let's see if we're able to do that. So I'm going to grab some detail lines. I want to have 5 feet here before my stair starts, and let's say my stair is 3 foot wide. So I want kind of this area open before it starts, and then when I turn, ideally, I also want to have 4 feet here. This gets really tricky. I generally have done commercial architecture, so I'm always thinking in the dimensions of commercial architecture. And you can't quite get 5 foot here and have that step turn there. Because right now I only have here 6 3/4 inches. I think it's okay there. I'm going to squeeze it just a tiny bit. So it's going to have a step coming up here, 1, 2, and then it'll come up the rest of the way. I'm going to draw a line from here to here so I know, hang on. And to copy this out 11 inches for the step. I gave myself some guidelines so I know where this is all starting. So my landing here is a little bit short, but because it's an existing building, I'm going to hope that I can deal with that. I don't have, so ideally I'd like to have 5 foot in front of this. It looks like I'm only going to have 4'6", almost 4'7", which isn't terrible. So I'm going to have 1 step going up here, and then going this way. I'm going to have a bunch of steps going this way. I know that I want them to be 3 foot wide. So again, I'm just giving myself some starting places for making my stairs. So I know that my stair is going to start here and then come up going this way. Okay. So I'm now going to go over to stair. And then here I'm going to go and make this a 7-inch max riser with 11-inch tread stair. I'm going to start at level 1, but negative 14 inches below, because remember I'm that kind of half level down here, and I'm going up to level 2. That's going to tell me how many risers I need to have. I need to have 20 risers, which is quite a lot, but we're going to kind of roll with that and see how it goes. So starting here, this line I made, I'm drawing from here to here, and then I need to make the rest of my risers from here, and it's going to show me the full length that goes up to there. Okay, and then I'm going to hit my green check mark. So if I look in my 3D view, I can bring this in a little bit so I can see what I'm doing. This is my section box. And I don't think I ever did I make my 3D view show? Yeah, so I can see my new stair here that's coming in. So my stair comes up, and it looks like it ends right here. So I am gonna lose probably this bathroom or parts of that bathroom. And then also the way the stairs are landing here isn't working right now, right, because it needs that area. So that means that this stair is also going to have to change or move, which is okay, that can totally happen. So I'm going to go ahead and demolish this stair and demolish that shaft opening. I don't know if it'll let me do that. Shaft openings might be one of those things that like it's not, it doesn't want you to demolish. Let's see if I can get it. So if I go to level 2, I come over here to make it my renovation phase, show previous and new. If I hit tab over this, it doesn't look like I can select that at this point. So I'm just going to make a new little piece of floor that fits in there. So I'm going to come over here, go to architecture, floor. I'm still going to use the same kind of floor, so my wood joist with wood finish. I'm going to use my picker tool to select the outside of that. And I hit my green check mark, so that's now filled in. You'll notice that right now those two floors aren't aligning. That could be kind of fun to show that like this is a renovation and this is where it changed. But if I do want it to align, I can hit tab until I get that piece of wood. Like, to see how that blue line is highlighted, and then I can rotate that itself, and then I can do AL, aligning that to that, so that it more seamlessly goes into the floor. Okay, so as I mentioned, looks like this bathroom is also going to have to go and get reconfigured. So I'm going to go ahead and demolish all that. So I'm going to grab my demolish tool, demolish here, demolish here. I'm actually also going to demolish this closet because I think I can make better use of this space. Demolish the toilet, demolish the sink, demolish that. Looks like this wall is going to have to go, so I'm going to go ahead and, can I demolish that whole wall? That's a question. So that wall is a continuation of this, so I probably don't want to demolish that whole wall. It's bringing some load down from the floor above. So instead, I'm just going to make an opening through that wall for my stair. So coming back to level 2, I'm going to perhaps demolish this wall opening, or maybe just extend this wall opening. Let's just make another wall opening over here. I'm going to go to architecture. I should be able to make a door opening. That should be an option. So let's just see if I go to load family, go to English Imperial, doors. I'm looking for just an opening and hit open. I can then add that here. So I have that opening for my steps, and I can make it slightly bigger. So right now it's 36 inches. Let's make it a 4-foot opening. So I'm going to go to edit type, duplicate this type, make it 48 inches. Hit OK. And then over here, I'm going to change my roof width to 4 feet and hit OK. And then I can move this over. Okay. Now if I look in 3D, I have that little opening that allows me to get up for my stairs, but I still need an opening above my stairs itself. So if I go to my section view, I'm actually going to move my section cut over a little bit. So if I go to level 1, I can bring this over here. I'm going to go back to my section view. So now I can actually see where these treads are. You want to make sure that you have 6'8" clear above the treads so that nobody bumps their head in this floor. So I'm going to do a detail line, DL, from the tip of this step down to this step. I'm going to copy this up, CO, copy up 6 foot, 8 inches. And then I know that that's the area I want clear, so I need this floor to essentially end here. There needs to be an opening that's this big in the floor. So let's see how big that is. So from, I need to find a point that I can find, right? So from this point, can I find this point? From the end of this stair, it looks like I'm coming out 12 foot 6 inches. So I'm going to go on to level 2. And here I'm going to create a shaft opening. And I'm going to start at the end of my stairs. I'm going to come this way, 12 foot 6 inches, typing it in, come straight to the wall, come back up to the end of the stair and over, and then hit my green check. So now I can see where those stairs come through. And I'll also need to add a railing around this so that nobody is falling down here, or I can add a wall. So how much space does that leave me here? 6'1", so I can squeeze a small bathroom on this side. But let's wait to put bathrooms back in. Okay, so I'll come back and add a rail if I need it, depending on where I'm going to put a wall. But for now, let's leave that alone. I really wish this had like aligned with the end of the stair. It's kind of wacky that it doesn't. But we will deal with that. Okay, so now you can see my winder stair that's kind of coming up and coming here. So now the second stair, I'm going to start here and I'm going to have it just needs to go up to this bedroom. So I can in fact use another spiral and just have it be in the corner over here instead, so that you're kind of entering over here. The one thing that's weird about that is then these people don't have privacy in that there's not a lot of privacy, right? Because like anyone here can go up to that one. The other way to do it is I could have the stair stack with this, so I could have a second stair here going through here and just build out like a little roof pop-up and have kind of like a glass enclosure maybe coming out for that. But I don't want to make that big of a change. So I think I'm going to edit this from having these kind of 2 stacked bedrooms with this being a master bedroom to this being more of an accessory space to whatever is here. So if there's a bedroom back here, maybe this bedroom becomes the master. And then maybe these are 2 stacked spaces that, that work together. So I'm going to go ahead and put that new spiral in. So I'm going to go over to level 2. And then I know I need at least 5 foot here. So I'm going to come out 5 foot. 5 foot over. Okay, so I don't want anything like within that area. And so then I'm going to put my spiral in this room. So perhaps I'll have it like so you can kind of see it from the front of the building when you're looking at it, that it's in this corner. So I'm going to go back to stair, put in a spiral. Oops, did I click the wrong one? Yep, I gotta click over here. So starting here, and I'm going to do 2 foot 6 inches. That's bigger than I need, so I'm just going to select here and change this to 2 foot 6 inches. Well, I want this middle part to be smaller, so I'm going to bring that in. Okay, and then here I can put in 2 foot 6 inches. It's still not doing what I want. So I'm going to bring this in. And I'm just going to drag the end until it is more where I want it to be. So dragging that in, 2 foot 8, and I'm going to make it 2 foot 6. Okay. Hit my green check. So I want to move all this over, so I'm going to select, make sure I get the middle there. move this over to here. I'm purposely putting it in front of that window so you can kind of see the spiral from the outside of the building. You'll get like a little peek of that through that window. Okay. And then let's see, where is the first step? The first step is facing this way, which I think is weird. So I'm going to rotate the whole step so the first step is more this way. So I'm going to take this whole thing, make sure I get all of those things. So if I click down, filter it, and make sure I just have in the stairs and railings, hit OK. I'm going to rotate this from the middle here. I'm going to bring this straight here so that it's kind of starting there. So now if I look in 3D, see I have my new step that's coming up this way. I still need a hole in the floor above, which we'll put in just a second. Okay, so now that I have this in here, I think I'm going to demolish this as well. I don't really want a closet here, so I'm going to go back to level 2, open up the space by getting rid of the closet. So I'm going to demolish here. Okay. So now if you look at my section, you can see my big changes, right? I have this new stair, this infill in the floor, this new spiral stair on the side. I think what I would like to do is create a bigger window in the front here to kind of highlight that stair from outside, from the exterior. And more practically, I need to add a hole in the floor here. I need to fill this hole in the floor here. And I need to deal with bathrooms because I kind of just got rid of all the bathrooms. So coming back to level 2, level 2 I feel okay about right now, except for the lack of bathroom. So I'm going to add in a bathroom that's in suite with this, that's over here, I guess. So to do that, I'm going to go to architecture, wall, interior wall. I'm going to do finish phase. Okay, so I'm coming this way. I don't have a lot of room here. So if you look, I only have 3'11". I only have 4 foot here, so this is just going to be a half bath. It's not going to have like a full shower and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and add in my bathroom in here. So here's my toilet. Rotate this. And then also my sink, and I need a door, so I'm going to put my door in. I'm going to make this a 34-inch door. Oops. Over there, okay. And I need my sink, so component, sink. Okay, so I have room for just a sink and a toilet. This is just a half bath over here. I don't like that these door swings overlap. So perhaps this can get slightly smaller. So maybe this can be a 32-inch door. And then I want to always try to keep 4 inches on the side here, just so that they have something they can actually finish. That's actually smaller than if you want it. I'll leave it at 2 inches, just so there's some kind of room for a door frame there. Okay. In the ideal world, I could swing this in, but it's going to hit my sink, so I can't, so it's going to stay swinging out. So there is my new bathroom over there. This becomes like a little foyer, and then this area, I need to add a railing over here so no one falls over, but this can be like a little loungy area. So I'm going to go ahead and add a railing, guardrail, and I'm going to have it come from, I don't need the opening as big as I made it here, so I'm going to have it come just where my floor opening is over here. Hit the green check. And then I want to change this to be the 36-inch opening. I actually think that's fine for this stair because that's how wide the stair is. Okay, so now if we go back to 3D, you can see my railing there, keeping everybody safe from falling over the edge. You can see my new little bathroom area. new stair, and then over here, I still need to deal with the third floor because I haven't looked at it at all. So I'm going to go over to level 3. Level 3, this is still showing. Oh, okay. So I have to make sure I change over here phase, make sure this is renovation phase. And then I want to show previous and new. Okay, so this is now what I'm dealing with. So I need to add the hole in the floor here. It looks like my down starts here. So I'm going to go ahead and go to shaft. I'm selecting the outside of this. The ending of this is not great, right? Like right now it's ending over here, and then if I get off, like how do I get into the room is the problem. So I think I'm going to have to rotate that and change it because I can't enter the room from that angle. So I'm actually going to hit X. Okay, so when I want to have two things next to each other so I can look at them at the same time, I can delete up here the views I don't need to look at right now and then type in WT to bring them up next to each other. So I need this to really come at least to be here so I can get off the stair and into the room. So I'm going to go ahead, click and drag, select that stair again, filter this to get rid of some of this stuff. So I just want stairs and railings, hit OK. And now I'm going to rotate. So originally I had wanted that here. I'm going to have that come more so you enter on this side of it. And then that'll bring the down. Let's do a little bit less than that. So you kind of enter into the room, you get onto it. That I think feels better. I'm going to look back at my 3D. Yeah, so here you're kind of entering into the stair and you exit into the stair. That feels a lot better. Okay, great. So coming back over to my second floor plan, and when I'm done with that, I can just select, close those two out, and then I have this view all myself again. So I'm going to go back to shaft opening, select the outside here, and then remember that we want to keep a little bit of floor here for someone to actually get onto. So I'm going to select this one. And then if I put this in wireframe, I can see what's going on beneath. So I can go from here maybe to this step. And this is the same idea as before. We just don't want anyone to hit their head as they're going down the step. So I'm having this. Okay, I can use my split tool here. Trim that, hit the green button. Oops, kind of have overlapping lines. What's overlapping? Looks like it's mad about this one, so I'm going to delete this. Okay, it looks like I have a second line there. So then let me see if I can reconnect these two. Hit my green check. Save the project always. Okay, so let's see how that looks. Okay, great. So now we have a hole in the floor that is allowing us to get onto that first step, and that is allowing people not to hit their heads as they come down this way. You'll notice that I do have an opening here that I would need to close off either with a wall or with a railing. So I can just add a railing there. So where this floor ends, which is right here, I'm just going to add a railing. So architecture, railing. I'm just going to draw it from here over to here, hit the green check, and now if I look in 3D, you should be able to see that railing there, just kind of closing that off. I might actually want that to end here so those feel continuous. So I'm going to find that railing again. And here again, like I'm finding the floor very distracting, so I'm going to turn it off. So if I go to, and first I'm going to change this to hidden line, and do VV, and I'm going to turn off my floor pattern. Okay, okay. All right, that's better. So ideally I would want the railing to kind of end in the railing. So I'm going to leave that a second and rethink this. So I'm going to go to railing. And then if this railing is ending here, I'm going to have this railing just come straight back to the wall, hit my green check. And then actually I'll also change this floor opening. So I'm going to edit this sketch and have that just come straight back to simplify things so it's not such a mess. Then hit green check. Okay, so let's see how that all looks. That looks a little bit more reasonable, right? So the railing's ending and kind of going into that railing directly. Okay. So there is lots more I could change on this. Oh, I need to at least fill in that floor. So I'm going to leave this bathroom alone. I'm not changing anything there. This I'm going to fill in. So I'm going to go to floor and then select the edges of this to close it up. Hit my green check. And so now we kind of have like this back room here that might be used for something. Maybe I'll make this so that I really feel like the bathroom would be better off here, and then this whole room could be a thing. So I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. So I'm going to demo the bathroom here, make this into the bathroom. So over here, I'm going to go to modify, demolish this, demolish that, demolish that. I need to add more railing here you'll notice, so that this part of the stair doesn't become precarious. Demolish that, demolish that. So now this is one bigger room, which I think is a little bit nicer. I'm going to edit my path on this railing, have it come back to the wall so that nobody falls down the stair. Okay, this is now my new bathroom, so I'm going to go to architecture component, put in a sink, put in a toilet, and put in a tub. The tub wants to have a wall to sit on, so I guess I'll let it sit along this back wall. Or it might be nice to have it along this wall and then have like a window over it. But the door is right there, and I don't want to move that door because that looks like a masonry wall. I could put it back here. That might be nice, so that way you can still have a window in there. So I'm gonna put that in here. I'm gonna put my bathroom over here. And my sink over here. That might be a little bit odd. I can always kind of fuss with this and get it looking right. So maybe I'll move this toilet to this back wall. And I might need to fur out some of these walls to allow it to have plumbing in it. I can always do that. So why don't I show that so you guys can see kind of how to do that. So if I go to architecture wall, I'd be doing an interior wall. I'm going to edit type, duplicate this. And this one is going to be W5, interior one-sided. Hit OK. And here, if I edit the structure, I'm going to make my metal stud be a 6-inch metal stud, so 5 1/2 inch. And then I'm going to delete this other layer and then hit OK. Hit OK again. And so now if I have this W5, I'm going to bring that across. If I put this into detail, fine detail, you can see this side's the gypsum side, this side has nothing on it. So I'm just doing that and putting it right next to here so that I have room to run pipes in this wall. I'm now going to move this out, and I'm going to pick a new host for my bath so it's on this wall. And then my sink I'm going to leave here, which is a little odd. I'm going to add a little wall here so that you could potentially have some privacy between the tub and the toilet. So here I'm going to add in a normal W3 wall from here to there. And I'm not happy with this sink location. I'd have to keep working on this to make it actually work well. Maybe the toilet needs to move 90 degrees. I don't know. This could be fussed with. Okay, so this is now one big room. This is here. If I look at level 2, I put in a little half bath. There is no shower right now, which is not ideal. The shower for this suite is kind of upstairs. This is like a 2-level suite, and then this one just doesn't have a shower. So I could make it so that this is like just a shower by itself instead of a closet. Or it could just be that you have to go all the way upstairs to use a shower. I could make it that the level 1 has a shower in the bathroom that I'm going to add here. Right, so these are like real problems. I'm not going to get into too much detail because it's beyond the scope of what I want you guys to learn for this. So did I make enough changes? I think that's enough changes for this. So basically I'm showing new bathroom here, new bathroom here. My big change was the reconfiguration of the stairs. And then I still need to add over here a bathroom, which I'm going to try to sneak under the stair here. So I'm going to look back at my section view to figure out where I can start that. So if I go over to section, views, sections, maybe section 2. Okay, so same deal with the 6'8" rule. So DL, if this is my floor level, I have to come up 6 foot 8 inches. So I can't really start anything before that point because you would just bang your head on it. So that is how far from this wall. So I can start something 11'6" from that wall. So I'm going to go ahead to my level 1. I'm going to create a room over here. So first I'm going to do DL, give myself the 11'6", just so I know like where that room can start. So I can start over here is where I can actually have something. And then I want this to be at least 8 foot wide ideally. Can I fit that in? I can fit that in, but it's going to make my entry really uncomfortable. Although I don't have to make it this wide. So let's say this is only 5 foot deep. So let's say I'm going to have a room that is, oh, I really don't love how that is cramping that door. How about I swing this door to the outside, and then I'll make, how much room do I have here? 4'6". It's still pretty tight in there. I would love if this could swing over farther, but I also know that I can't make a bathroom where people are hitting their head. So I'm going to go ahead and grab my walls. I'm going to have it come straight out this way and then over to here. So I think my best bet here is to just make the bathroom kind of in this corner. So I'm going to dimension from the interior of this to the interior of this wall and make this 8 foot that way. And then I'm going to assume that we can fit some storage under this stair. So I'm going to draw another wall that is right here. And then that particular wall I just drew, I want to have some control over what it looks like. So I'm not seeing it because my section is too far in. So I'm going to go and move my section out a second. And then I'm going to go back to section 2. Okay, so you can see that wall I just made. I want this to come down to the floor. Same thing with this. I want it to come down to the floor. And then I can change how this is so that it just is hitting the bottom of the step. So I'm going to edit profile, use my green picker tool, hit the bottom of that stringer, and then clip those sides, delete the top, and hit my green check mark. And that's going to allow me just to kind of keep that cleaned up. And you can imagine having some inset shelving in here or something. Okay, so I go back to level 1. I also want to make sure that this is going to -14. Okay, I'm going to have a door swinging into the bathroom over here. So I'm going to do architecture door. I want it to be a 36-inch door. I'm going to have it swing toward that side. And then over here, I'm going to put in my tab. So I'm going to go to component, tab on this wall. And then I'm going to sit in my bathroom right here. And I kind of swing it this way. Okay, so component, rotate that. And then finally the sink. Okay, so I'm putting in a full bathroom on the bottom floor instead. And then I have my more usable stair over here. And I have some storage in this wall, so you can imagine this kind of feeling like an entry space. And then maybe this is more of a formal living room. So one thing we have, I'm going to save. One thing we've not talked about at all yet is rooms and how you can label them in Revit. So let's go through and label our rooms a minute. This I'm realizing needs to be, this is floating in the air right now. So I need to move that down. So if I select this, let's see, level 1, can I just move it? Nope. So some families are very particular in how they work. I'm going to try aligning it down, and this door needs to move down. Okay, I'm going to move my section box down. Let's see if we can do anything about that tub that's kind of like sitting in the middle of nowhere there. Okay, so I'm going to do align, and I'm going to try to align this to that. Nope, didn't work. Normally it'll let you offset something, so I'm going to hit pick new host and try that again. Street level, it wants an actual level to sit on, which is lame. So I hadn't made a level for that little half level, but I'll make a level just to make this work better. So if I go to section, I'm just going to copy this CO down to here. And then I can come here, and so that level is going to be called, I'm going to call that level A. So I can select this, and I can make pick new host. And I can select level A there. So sorry, a little annoying on that. Every family is built a different way, so they're all hosted on things a little bit differently. So sometimes you have to kind of move things around to make them work. Okay, so going back to what I was saying before, we don't have any like rooms labeled, and it would be nice to have that. So I'm going to go over here to architecture and add in some rooms. So all you do is you click on the room button, and then you'll notice if a space is enclosed, you can click, and it'll tell you the room. I don't want room numbers on here. I just want to call it something. So I'm going to click on my room tag, go to edit type and do unclick show room number and hit OK. And then I'm going to click in here and call this living. Then I'm going to go back to my rooms. I want one in here. I'm going to have one. This whole space is reading as one room, which I don't want. I want this to be a room and this to be a room. So I'm going to add something called a room separator. So over here under architecture, I can add my room separator. And I'm going to add it right here. And then I'm going to go ahead and back click on my room button. Select the room here. Oops, I must have already added one there. Or is this not reading as a room? That's a room. Oh, it looks like the living is actually reading all the way over here too. So I need another room separator here. So I'm going to click room separator from here to here. Okay, so that's better. And then if I go to tag room, good, nothing's showing here now. So I can add another room here. Add a room back here. So this is going to be kitchen. This is going to be entry hall. This is going to be bathroom, so we can do WC. Okay, on level 2, same thing. I haven't ever turned off the floor in level 2, so I'm going to do that now. I'm going to type in DV. I'm going to go down to my floors, override the patterns here, and do not visible and hit OK. Okay. And so then I can go ahead and place rooms. So I'm going to do room here. This is a room, this is a room, this is a room. This is going to be bedroom 1. And then this is going to be lounge. This is another bathroom. And this is going to be the master suite. And then master suite is going to continue on the floor above. So I'm going to go to level 3. And again, I'm going to put in a master suite here. So architecture, room here, room here. You can see the scale of this looks different. So I'm going to make sure they're all the same scale. We call this master suite. And this is going to be WC. Okay, one thing I did not do is add in the big window over here that I was thinking about. So for that, I'm going to go to level 1. Let's look at the front elevation of this. You'll notice that I don't see any of my elevations. I think that's because they are currently all existing. So I'm going to double click on here. I'm going to change this to renovation. So I'm changing my phasing so I can see things. And then go to show previous and new. Same thing here, double click. Renovation, show previous and new. Same thing for the west. Renovation, show previous and new. Okay. So I want to go to my front elevation over here. And essentially I'm saying that I have like a cool stair behind this window. So I want this to be one giant window that kind of spans between floors, which might not be structurally sound. This is a concept design, whatever. We'll kind of give it a shot. So I want it to be the same width as the other windows, I think. So I can just be 3 feet even. Maybe a little bit bigger would be nice. But let's say it's going to be 3'6" wide, and then it's going to be this height. I want to keep consistent. So that's 15. Let's say it's 15.5 inches. Okay. So I'm going to demolish those 2 windows first. I'm going to modify. Grab my little hammer, and I'm going to click on this window, click on that window, set they're gone. And then I'm going to create a new window. So I'm going to go to window, and here I'm going to click on fixed. I'm going to edit type, duplicate this, and this is going to be, let's put large picture, window, hit OK. And so the height of this I said was going to be 15 feet 5, and I think it was 3/8 inches. And then I want the width to be 3'6" and hit OK. So I'm going to put in this giant window here, and I'm going to align it So AL, we'll make sure it's aligned over here, and then I want the bottom of it to be aligned with the bottom of that, so that those things all look aligned. You'll notice that I'm going to see my floor plate here. I'm okay with that. That's fine with me. And so the whole point is that I can kind of see behind and see my stair. This looks odd over here. What's going on with that? That is, oh, that's a generic model behind. That's fine. Okay, so here is my new front elevation. I have my rooms labeled. My elevations are showing up again. So I think that's all I'm going to change on this building. Our next thing we're looking at is going to be creating views and annotations to better describe this model. I guess the one other thing that I should have done at least one example of is an RCP, just so that you know like how to do it. So let's take just a couple minutes. I know this is a long tutorial. Let's take a couple minutes to look at the front living room. I also want to show you how to load in families that maybe don't come with Revit automatically. So I'm going to look at that front formal living room over here. And granted, I've done nothing to this, right? Like this is exactly how it came in. But I want to load in some families to kind of show like how it might be laid out, and I want to add in an RCP. So to start out with, let's add in a fun chandelier in the middle of it, and let's give it a ceiling so that it has like actual lighting. So I'm going to go over here to my ceiling plan, double click. This probably is still existing, so I want to come over here, change it to renovation, and do this as show previous and new. Okay, I'm going to show the border here, and I'm going to drag this in. So if I'm going to show detail on this living room, I think it's going to be beyond the detail I show normally. I would show normally at this level. So I'm going to make this a special plan. And I'm going to do that by creating a call out. Go over here to view, grab my call out button, click and drag. And so here, if I right click now and hit go to view, you'll notice that this is at 1/2 inch scale, and this is looking just at the interior of this one little space. I'm even going to bring these in a little closer. So you can tell I'm just looking at the inside. I'm not interested in what's going outside this space. Okay. So there's my first enlarged plan, and then I want an enlarged RCP of this area. So I'm going to go to level 1. This is my ceiling plan. I'm going to grab a call out again, and grab just that area, and right click, go to view, and then here I'm going to change it so it's also at 1/2 inch, just so they're at the same kind of level there. Click on here. Okay. So let's add in some furniture first, and then we'll add in some lights. So I'm going to my level 1 call out. Here is my entry. We're going to keep it really dumb. We're just going to add in like a few chairs maybe. So let's find some place I can get it. If I go into Canvas, you'll notice there's a whole area down here for Resource Library, Revit, and BIM. And BIM object and Revit City are files that people make. So there are different families made by people. Some of them are good, some of them are bad. It's going to be a whole mixed bag. Hayworth Furniture is a professional site that makes furniture, so it's those families tend to be a little bit more reliable. Phillips Lighting also is a professional site, so should be a little bit more reliable, but realize that like it's always somebody in their office making this stuff, so sometimes it works really well, sometimes it doesn't. You don't want to get too attached to any one family you've downloaded. So I'm going to go to Hayworth Furniture. Oh, the page you requested cannot be found. Oh no. So if that, I can try to fix that link, but if that happens, click on Design Resources, and then you want to go to Revit Files under Symbols. And so here there's a whole bunch of different chairs. It's granted it's pretty corporate, but I think they're nice. So I'm going to go over here and let's just see what they have. GC, Plains Credenza. So the images are coming in slowly. So how about I put in this chair? So I'm going to hit download on that. And then but I also have a shade lounge. I can add in a buzzy moonlight. And then I need like a coffee table or something. So why don't I just add in, let's see, my internet's being really slow, I apologize. So they have like a lot of desks and stuff. I'm not really seeing a good coffee table. Maybe I'll just put in like this rectangular dining table. And I can download this. Maybe that's a better one than the other one. Okay, so I have a couple of different things that I've downloaded. To load them into my file, I'm going to go to Insert, Load Family, and then all those things are in my downloads. So I would go to this PC, downloads, and I would bring in, I'm going to bring in this, and it's going to upgrade my model. I then go to Architecture, Component, and it should be right there. If I don't see it there, I can scroll through the stuff here to find it. So I'm putting in my shade lounge. I'm going to put in chaise lounge, however you say that. I'm going to go back to Insert, Load Cancel, Load Family, the slant club chair, and open that up. I go to Architecture, Component, put that in. Maybe I want 2 of those. And then finally, I want the table. So I'm going to go to Insert, Load Family, this table, open that up. This table is a dining table, and I want a coffee table, so I'm going to modify it. So I'm going to go to Architecture Component, put in this table. When I click on it, I can go to Edit Type. We'll see they have, let's see, that one too. Okay, so that's like the long version of it. So maybe I'll have a long version, but I'm going to go to Edit Type and I'm going to make it shorter. So you'll notice this is all grayed out right now because it's like a standard height. I can always edit the family anyway. So if I go to Edit Family, go to the parameters, you'll see here that it defines what the standard height and depth are. Because this is just my design and I'm not actually sourcing this for real yet, I'm going to change what the dimensions are here. So I'm going to make the height just 20 inches so it feels more like coffee table height. Hit apply, and then over here I'm going to change my actual height to 20 inches. Apply. And let's see, did that actually change it yet? Not sure if that actually worked. Actual height, actual depth. I hit OK. I'm going to look at the side view of this because I think this might be built more in a more complicated fashion that I would have wanted. So it looks like the height came down here, but for some reason they didn't pin everything appropriately. So I'm going to align this to that, remove constraints. Okay, this is going to be too complicated to change. Not going to change this one. Sorry, guys. I'm going to delete that table and just put in a more standard table. So I'm going to go to Insert, Load Family. I have to navigate all the way back to where those files are, which is like a nightmare. So it's under Autodesk, I think, Revit. I think it's under Revit 2020. Nope. Let's see if I can just go back. Nope. Imperial. So luckily it's saved under here under my sidebar. I can go to Imperial Library. So you see it's like under program files. It's under all these things. Okay, but back there. So I'm gonna go to Furniture, Tables, and then let's just bring in a table, Dining, Table, Coffee, and that way I don't have to change it at all. Okay, so sometimes when you borrow somebody else's families, it's just hard to change them. And then I go to Component and bring that in. Not saying it's impossible, just was going to be too much of a pain. All right, so I'm going to rotate these so that maybe they're facing, maybe this one is long ways along here. And then maybe the two are kind of facing each other this way. And then here's my coffee table. Okay, so super random configuration, whatever. This is just to kind of show how you can start putting in furniture. So then I wanted to put in a ceiling plan. So I'm going to go to my level 1 ceiling plan, which I think is over here, level 1 callout ceiling plans. So first thing I need to do is put an actual ceiling. So I'm going to go over to ceiling. I don't want an ACT system. That's like that weird bumpy stuff. So I'm going to do chipboard and metal stud. I can use automatic ceiling and that'll find the edges of my room most of the time. You have to click once. I clicked twice, so I have 2 there. So I'm going to delete 1. I'm then going to tab until I get that again. And then here it has the height at 8 foot. I'm going to make it 8. Let me think. We have 10-foot floors. So I want to leave at least a little bit of room for structure and things. So I'm going to make it 8 foot 9 inches. And so if I now look at my section, you'll notice that I have a ceiling that's like below the floor structure there. And then here you can see some of my furniture put into that space. So I want to add some lighting to it. So I'm going to go back to that call out. I'm going to put standard lighting on the sides and then maybe a more fancy fixture in the middle. So in order to see what's going on underneath and decide where I need lighting, I'm going to click on here and put level 1 underneath. I'm going to do look down as the orientation hit apply. And that just shows me what my furniture layout, where my windows are, so I can kind of guess where I might want things. I don't have any lighting in here yet, so I'm going to insert load family. Here I want to bring in lighting, so electrical. Oh, I don't know if that's going to work. It should just be lighting. Lighting, architectural, internal, and I'm going to grab a recessed lamp round and hit OK. I'm going to do the 3-inch trim down light, hit OK. Okay, so now if I go to architecture component, I'm going to do place on face, and then I should see these. So let's say I want to have 4 evenly spaced along here. I'm going to dimension from the inside of this wall to the middle of this, to the middle of that, to the middle of that, to the middle of that, to the inside of that wall. Hit tab to get the part you want, hit EQ, and then you can see those all in there. I want these to be 3 foot off the wall, so I'm going to dimension to there. Select that, type in 3 foot there, and then I can do an align, AL, to align the middle of that, the middle of that, middle of that, the middle of that, middle of that, oops, sorry, AL, middle of that, to the middle of that. Okay, that's my first set. I think I might actually want these to be only 2 foot 6 off the wall, so I'm going to select them all. And then type in MV to move and come over 6 inches. Okay, I want these to be perfectly mirrored on the other side. So I'm going to do a reference plane, RP, get the middle of my room here. I'm going to select these all at once by holding down Control, then click on mirror, click on the center, and so now I have that other side. Okay, so this furniture doesn't feel like it has like a very particular way it needs lighting. It feels pretty random. It feels like it could move. I don't want to be wed to that. So I'm going to assume I just want to put my fancy fixture right in the middle of the room. So I'm going to type in modify for architectural reference plane. I'm going to grab the center of this room so I have it, and then I want to put one fancy fixture there. So I'm going to insert load family, go back to my downloads, and then I'm going to grab this one, open it, and then I'm going to go to architecture, component, and here I should be able to see that and kind of get that space right in the middle. So now if I go to a 3D view, let's kind of see what happened to that front space. So you can see I have like my more fancy fixture. It looks like this attached itself. Elevation, it did level 1. So I need it to come down a little bit. It's reading too high. It needs to come down lower. So I'm going to do elevation from level. I'm doing -1 foot, bring it down a foot. I'm actually bring 1 more foot, so -2 feet. Let's see, no, more than that. So I'm going to go into my section view so I can see a little bit better what's going on. Let's bring my section back out here. And then I should be able to just do an MV and move this up to hit my ceiling. Again, every family is built a little bit differently. So you can see kind of my basket chairs, my coffee table in there. This in general is a little bit low, but I'm going to let it go for this. So you'd always want to have a table or something under here so that people are not banging their heads into it. And actually, this might be a nice picture to also have above my stairs, especially with a fancy window here. So I'm going to, can I just copy it? Let's see, can I just copy it over to here? It does let me do that, awesome. So I'm going to have like 2 of the same lamp, that one's over there, that one's over there. I can go to level 3 and kind of move that around. So I want that to be right over my stair here. So if I bring this up. Okay. So now you can see that because I've changed my faces, and again, I didn't ever attach to my new walls I made. I forgot to attach the roof. It's always good to look at 3D to like figure out what you forgot. This I made too tall, so I can bring that down. These I forgot to touch the roof, so I'm going to select this, attach top base, and then select the roof, attach top base, select the roof. And why is that misbehaving over here? Attach top base, roof. Bring this out a little further. That's misbehaving. So this one is misbehaving for some reason. I'm not sure why. Oh, I know why. It's because this stair shaft was breaking the roof there, so I need to bring that down. It only needs to be high enough to get through there. Okay, so those should be fixed. All right, so I have my whole floor, I have my new stairs, I have my new lights, I have my new bathrooms. And that's all I'm showing. So yes, it's not like a full, I have not fixed everything in this building. I'm not showing everything. I'm just kind of showing the things that are new and changing. Your model will not look exactly like this. I want you to think about what changes you want to make. They could be totally different than my changes. You could add in a solarium, you could add in a planetarium, you can demolish the whole back and make it into a garden. You could decide that this really needs to be a 2-story space. You can keep the spiral. You don't have to get rid of the spiral. So all the changes I've been making in this are just examples to show you how you can start modifying this model and how you can use phasing to show what is new versus old. So wherever you end up being in your model, whatever renovations you're happy with, I want you to grab a 3D view, get a screenshot here, and then upload that to show that you've gone through this tutorial. So that would be my snip. Thanks.